Okay, people, let's try that again. That's why I'll always, for whatever reason, but my kid drives himself from school. So during the time that he has to go back home from school, I take my phone off do not disturb so I can actually know when he calls me. And I didn't put it back. So there we have it. But anyway, let's try that again. This is attorney Abisola Ole Samuel, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. I broadcasting right now live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do so. Invite your friends to do so. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok. So I'm everywhere, people. I'm everywhere. Anyway, so I was talking, and let's jump right back in there. And if you need to contact our office, that's the contact information. Go on the website, olalelawfirm.com. 334-341-4475 is the number. And I was before that cut off, I was talking about what happens, your spouse has now said they're going to change, things are going to be better. Should you pull your VAWA petition based on that? And the short answer is no. And I was explaining earlier on that that is still a form of control. Just in case you do not understand what's going on, that's something I'm sure you have heard 1,000 times before. Things are going to change. I don't want to get divorced. I want to stay married. I don't know what came over me. It's not, you make me do that. You push me to that extreme. They come back and make you feel like you're the reason why things went left. That is part of the abuse. Please do not fall for that. I'm not advocating breakup of marriage. Listen, I'm a Nigerian woman from a country where divorce is more or less like a taboo. I'm divorced, but it's you don't even want that's a story for another day. My point is, I'm all for the sanctity of marriage and all, but I do not know of any religion that condones misery and abuse in a marriage. That's why we have vow, so that the control is taken out of the hands of the American spouse or the legal permanent resident spouse, and you as a foreign spouse are able to take charge of your immigration status. And if anything, that actually almost helps your marriage, quote unquote, because it gives you a clear slate or a clear slate where you're not looking to your spouse for them to help you make your stay in the country legal. It's now going to be focused more on being able to see if you can repair this marriage or not. It doesn't change the fact that your spouse has been the one who has subjected you to the abuse that you have suffered. That's why the US Congress, like I said earlier on, decided and passed this law, because it became and the Immigration and Nationality Act actually has the provision in there that spouses are used. It's expected that immigrants married to citizens or legal permanent residents that suffering abuse may not even have opportunity to have immigration documents to prove their marriage. It's also expected that part of the abuse is using your immigration status to threaten you. And because that became so prevalent is why that law was enacted, so that you don't have to be a victim or be held hostage and live like a slave in your own marriage. So I cannot tell you even today, someone can say, you know what, I'm not sure if I want to go ahead with that because my spouse, they're going to get, therapy. We're going to go to counseling. All of that can still happen while your VAWA case is going on. So let's be clear on what can happen or what happens or what doesn't happen during the VAWA process. In the VAWA process, there is no requirement that you have to get divorced. You can literally, which I represent clients who are still living as husband and wife, going to church and all that. but I know my all their information comes to my office. So you can still go ahead and try to repair the marriage. And if it doesn't work out, you know you're not adding the immigration issue to the whole mix. If you go back and now cancel out your vow, so there's no requirement for you to be married, to be divorced. You can go on like nothing ever happened, with the exception that you now are taking out the immigration paper element. You're now focused on whether this marriage can work or not. It doesn't change the fact that you've been a victim of abuse. It doesn't change the fact that now you have that basis to be able to file for your own green card and not be subject to somebody else's manipulation, right? So there's no requirement. Hear me loud and clear. You can go on as usual. There is also a requirement for you to feel that you have to get divorced to qualify for vow or to be able to go through with a vow case. So if you're not divorced and you're still married, then your only option is a marriage, regular marriage base. No, that is not the truth. But when you go back, and I've had situations where people are actually start out with the regular marriage base adjustment of status. The day of the interview, the American spouse decides, if you don't do this, not going to show up for the interview. I've had a client where they literally got into the interview and the wife walked out of the interview. Got home, they had to, it was denied. It was, back and forth and all that. Decided, okay, she was sorry. They refiled. The whole thing. And she got pregnant by somebody else with him not knowing. So what we ended up happening is we had to, and the funny thing is this, after the first one was denied because she walked out and all that, he came to me and said, okay, I want to go ahead to do VAWA case. We said, okay, we'll start. A week after, he says, you know what? I think she's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. She's going to change. We're doing counseling, and then we're going to refile. Like, okay, you know what? That's your choice, right? You can make that choice. Months later, I got an email from him saying, you know what? You're right. Things don't change. And yeah, I'm back again. Now we're in the process of filing his VAWA case. People don't change overnight. If someone has, I think it was Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. It doesn't mean you don't forgive. I'm a woman of faith. You forgive people, but you do not forget that they have shown you who they are. That is the whole essence of our case. If they have messed up and sabotaged your immigration process the first time, they're going to do it the second time. So why in God's name would you subject yourself to the same thing, knowing what can happen? Doesn't mean that the miracles cannot happen and someone can change and then they actually do the right thing. But I'm trying to make you understand, putting your fate in the hands of someone who has already messed it up before, when the law has given you the opportunity to be able to be both your own self-petitioner and beneficiary and work on your marriage, if that can be repaired, why would you subject yourself? People would say, well, it's faster. Granted, it can be faster. But in the VAW process, you're able to transfer. If you have an I-130 that was filed on your behalf that's pending, you're able to transfer the priority date from that I-130 that was filed to your VAW petition. So it will be like you filed the VAW petition at the same time you filed the I-130. That's something that a lot of people do not know, but that's something that can help to speed up your process. So it's not about it being faster or not faster. It's about, so let me put it this way. There are a lot of people who go for interviews and then the immigration office tells them, okay, your case needs further review and we will let you know what our decision is. I have people whose cases have been declared to need further review since 2017. It's 4 years later. I have people that I filed for in 2019 that's been approved. Those who filed the marriage base are still waiting for further review of their case. So your spouse has changed. That's good. You need time to be able to figure out if that change is actually going to last, if that change is actually true. But you should not stop your VAWA case because your spouse tells you they have changed. Your VAWA case is your opportunity to be in the driver's seat and make sure somebody else is not going to sabotage your immigration status. I've had clients, and I still have clients who I have a client who is currently in removal proceedings. After the second, they filed, the wife pulled the petition, they refiled. She uh, got in, they arrived at USCIS office on the day of interview. They went in. She said she was going to use the restroom, didn't show up. Before he, and they already had problems. By the time she came back and apologized and all that, USCIS issued my client a notice to European Immigration Court and placed him in removal proceedings. Somebody's changing, or somebody's behavior is saying they're changing, and the time they use to waste your own time can actually lead to you ending up in removal proceedings, and that change is not going to help you in removal proceedings. So do not fall for my spouse's change. It's, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because you can tell I get passionate about this because I see it day in, day out. People telling you cannot cook the kind of food you want. They don't like the smell of your native food, or you can't. If they I have a client who his wife makes the bed. Once the bed is made in the morning, he cannot sleep in that bed until she gets back from work. There are cameras in the house because she would know if he does. And they went to counseling and everything, but things didn't change. So Vawa allows you to be in the driver's seat, allows you to be rid of the abuse and not being controlled. It doesn't mean that your marriage cannot still be worked on and see if things can be repaired. And if not, at least you're not dependent on somebody else to be able to get your immigration status. So your spouses, will change. That's fine. Don't change your vow petition. Let's see. Notice type receipt notice fee waived meaning. It just means that either the application it doesn't require a filing fee, or you've already paid a filing fee in another with a companion application that covers that one. Good evening. How are you? Yeah, so I just answered your question. So that's basically what that means. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. And so if you need help with your VAWA case or any other immigration cases, that services that we provide, citizenship, H-1B applications, employment-based green cards, asylum, I-751 waivers, that's usually joint filing is good. I'm someone with attention span and material. So joint filing is most of the time very straightforward. You can handle that on your own. The challenge is where you don't have to, you cannot, or you can't file with your spouse, and you've got to prove that you deserve you're eligible for the waiver ground. So it's got to challenge my brain. So whichever one you have, we can help you with your immigration case. Contact our office 334-341-4475. Please share this video with your friends and family. Please subscribe to YouTube channel Olale Immigration, TikTok and Instagram at Olale Immigration. And until next time, everybody, bye-bye.